Good all, y'all. Good. How does my mouth work? How do we talk? How do we do things like that? Hello, everyone. Wait. I think I did this. Is this one on? This one? Good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name's James True. And you've got your own name. You know what it is. Tell me. Sing your name as loud as you can. I want to hear it. That's why you're here. Some of us only have so much time. Some of you are like, no, I want to live forever. It's okay. So I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to sit back and say things. I'm going to critique the world. The first critic said. First critic said, yeah, my art is I'm going to just go around talking shit about things. I'm going to say, yeah, it's not bad. That's all right. You can't dance to it. You can't dance to it. How you guys doing? You guys doing good? Eric C., good to see you. I hope you got the books in time. I really did. Morning, James. Been a while. Hugh is in the house. What a great treat this is. This is so fitting, Hugh. I'm glad you're here. We had a lot to cover today. We actually do. Summertime on the Prison Planet, guys. Why don't we get into it? Where's present? I've moved my office around. Can you tell? Has anybody noticed? Holy cow. A lot of things have moved around here. I should actually kind of declutter. But yeah, it's been a really good weekend of kind of organizing. There there's things that still need to move, but yeah, anyway, it's been it's fun to clean. It's kind of lame, some would say. And I'm like, yeah, I think lame's sort of like a gear, honestly. I think a lot of us just don't want to admit that. We're just like, that's not a gear. You can't be doing that, but you can do that. Do you guys think this is better? Yeah, hi. How you doing? You think this is better? Because we can do it this way. We probably will, because I want to talk today about the prison planet. I'll get this right. I have to redo my motor control when it comes to like how my hands memorize. But I wanted to, in fact, we're going to do it this way. I wanted to discuss this idea that we are living in a prison planet, and I wanted to remind people that, fuck, man, if it's a prison planet, we're having a really good time down here. Like, we have a lot of things we can do. Like, a lot. And I'm just saying, if this truly is a prison planet, why is it so pretty? Why do we have cotton candy? Why have they not shot all the animals just to make me feel bad? Like, why am I waking up every day feeling like connected symbiotically to the land around me? Why just missed? Oh man, read aloud upon return. A nice treat. Oh, read those. Yeah, Eric, I'm sorry you missed those. Man, that's doing some book order business on there. Had the wrong address, and then we sent them out, but then there was a threshold time, and then hey, I'm trying to hook you up, but I was not able to do that. So hope you guys are enjoying the book Black Eye Club. Hope you guys have noticed. It now has 33 reviews. Pretty stoked about that. Of course, now Illuminati confirmed. So what are you gonna do about it, right? What are you gonna do about it? Except for talk about this prison planet. I think the Epstein case is one of those cases, guys. And if you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to choose to have friends that are like, it's a fucking prison planet and everyone's here to fucking kill you, I just need you to know that you were toting the line for them. You were carrying weight for them that's stopping them from seeing. Did you hear me? Wait, sorry. I want to kind of lean in. I want to kind of lean in here. You were stopping them from seeing the world. It's a prison planet. Everyone's out to kill you. If you don't fucking wake up, then we're all going to die. That's how you see less, not see more. That's how you see less details. That's how you stay less alert. No one doubts that we live in nature except for the people that have built a facade that we don't live in nature. Everyone else does. In this natural world, just like there are cacti, just like that there are cactusi, that have pokey things, and when you allow the pokey thing to subcutaneously poke you, bad shit happens to you. The same thing exists, but there are literal people who are being paid to wear witch doctor lab coats and wander around to do the same thing. And some of you guys are like kind of being Debbie Downers about it. You're kind of like walking around just like, we shouldn't have a world where witch doctors walk around with syringes in their fingertip shapes, going around poking our kids with stuff. It's like, yeah, you make a really compelling argument. You really fucking do, okay? But this same argument leads us into a space where we are now killing every possum, every raccoon, every fox, every bat, every marsupial creature, every mammal that we can find. We are now going to have to kill and destroy because they have rabies. And it gives you the exact same place when the entire time we are living in nature. And if you could just accept the fact that, hey, if we send little Billy into a yellow shipping container off to a public school, there's going to be a witch doctor there that's going to have syringes in their fingertips, and they're going to say, Billy, I'm here to make you better. You must tell the state that the parents are evil and that you will give your soul to me, Billy. And that Billy's just like, I don't know what to do. And parents are like, why is this happening? And I'm just like, it's happening because you're living in nature. It's nature. Guys, there are scorpions everywhere. There's brown recluses. I grew up thinking, man, black widows are like the baddest. No, man, brown recluses. They're recluse. They're so reclusive. They reclusinate all day long. This is some dangerous stuff, okay? I think that you should wake up and go, hey, we live in a dangerous world. I think you should wake up and go, hey, we live in a state of mortality. Seems to be almost like an insurance policy. And if we embrace these kinds of things, we will not need to create the facade of news that gets to tell us what we are allowed to be afraid of based on popular opinion. James, don't you dare go after Jimmy Dore and Cathy O'Brien. James, what are you doing? You have to back up, James. There's no way you're going to make this jump. James, you are not going to make this jump. This is an Evel Knievel too far. You cannot do this. This is the chambermaid of the satanic pedophile movement and the king of backyard trustafarian sort of comedian voices who's been inserting sanity into this place. Why are you doing this, James? Stop, back up, James. James, you've been complaining. James, you've been complaining that your numbers aren't so good. You've been complaining that you need to fix your act, that you need to come up with a whole new thing. And James, this is where you keep failing. You keep insisting that we should doubt people in the very foxhole where we eat, sleep, and eat beans together. What are you doing, James? What are you doing? Are you suicidal? Are you a contrarian psychopathiocolopoulos? Are you out of touch with how deeply in touch with your own insanity you are? It could be. But if that's true, it means I have to go out and listen and believe everything that the brethren around me that I call my truth family believes. And if I want to maintain a friendship or even make a living with you, I'm going to have to accept and believe all the stories that you do too, because this is how we build a church. And the congregation can only survive when we symbiotically create each other's placebo and turn it into reality. We are floating on a turtle. It's not land. The weasels lied to us to give us crops, to give us a chance to survive. This is delicate work. And the reason why religion is born in a foxhole is precisely because there is a lack of calories there. And when you lack calories, you lack the ability to parasympathetically detect your environment because you are sympathetically detecting it. And just as there's an honor among thieves, there is an honor among liars who feel they live in a prison planet. And every single person who tells you they live in a prison planet has permission to treat you like shit now, because we live in a fucking prison planet full of cotton candy, full of sunshine, full of kittens, full of critters. I can go out and adopt a kitten right now and bring it back to my cell and make art all day. I can grow toilet wine with no one stopping me. I can grow whatever plants I want. I can connect with people all over the world. I can stage a revolution digitally. I can write things. Certain things I cannot write. Certain things I cannot say. And these things have existed since I was 5. Since I was 5, I learned you cannot say that. Since I was 5, I learned, do not ask this question, little Jamesy. Do not do it. And here we are doing it again, because I'm telling you, I do not believe Cathy O'Brien. I do not believe her. And I know it hurts our case. I know it hurts our friendship. I know that you cannot bring me to gatherings now. I know that the Flat Earth Festival is not going to invite me back because I don't believe in Cathy O'Brien. And I lose connection with you because I can't. Do I want to believe Cathy O'Brien? Yes. Do I need to believe Cathy O'Brien? No, that's my problem. I'm not in the foxhole enough. I lack the integrity to truly be here, to truly be in this space, because I am not good at being a Congregationalist. I thought that we are here in this foxhole to exercise our discernment. That's what I thought. I thought that we were here, like, making sure that we're not falling for stories. I've told you about the dirt dauber finger in the barn, right? That when I was a kid, a dirt dauber shell fell. It looks like a finger, and I convinced everyone it was a finger. And I was popular. I was topping the charts at 7 with that. My tune, There's a Dead Finger in the Rutledge barn. Let's go take a look at it. That was the talk of the fucking town. I could have started a whole political party. We are the children who say no to the finger. And the moment I found out it was a dirt dauber is the exact same facial expression I made that I'm watching people make now when it comes to Epstein. And I can't even get to Epstein because first I wanted to talk about this, about Cathy O'Brien. There's guys, this is the most sexually provocative, self-stimulating sexual fantasy been broadcasted to all the masses that I've ever heard. And I think the only reason why people are believing this is because it's in the foxhole. That the reason why we buy this is because it's in the foxhole. Cathy O'Brien, born 1957, well-known conspiracy theorist and author who claims she was a victim of CIA mind control, Project Monarch, and a supposed offshoot of MK Ultra. She alleges under hypnosis that she was sexually abused by a secret network of elites. We're having trouble finding her claims valid. Well, of course we would have trouble finding her claims valid, James, because we're living in a prison planet, and the very person who's allowed to wander around telling everyone about it, for some reason, no one who's controlling the prison planet actually stops her because she's an unstoppable force, James. She's an unstoppable force that even though we're controlled by controllers, the controllers seem to have lost control over one Cathy O'Brien, and she's running amok. And she's been able to run amok now for 35 years. She's made a career out of this. She's made a career out of this as a speaker, telling you about her sexual tantalizations as she was tortured and made love to by all the elites all over the fucking world for years. That she was the sacred cow, the sacred whore even. The Mary Magdalene of the secret satanic elites was passed around like a love doll. And it satisfies everyone in the foxhole. Everyone gets to say, see, this fucking place, this cotton candy. This cotton candy isn't real. This cotton candy's chemtrails. And Cathy O'Brien proves it, so she gives us all the evidence. James, you're doubting the victim. Yeah, it's me too. For the truth movement, and I'm on the wrong side. I am on the fucking wrong side of this. You know I am. And look at me. Who the fuck's gonna trust me here in this foxhole now? What if one of you tries the same thing? What if one of you comes out with your own story? And here I am, gonna fucking blow it? Gonna ruin the whole thing? Do you see? This is a problem. I need to find another racket. I need to enter a different equation when it comes to taking care of my basic necessities, because I do not have what it takes to tell you that this stuff is real. Are there elite people in the world? Fuck yes. Here's fuck. Here's yes. They're kissing. They're like, oh, yes. There. Oh, fuck yes. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Yes. Are there people that have bad intentions? Huh? Fuck yes. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Are we living in the jungle? See, you guys won't even say that, you guys. But excuse me. The guys behind you guys won't even say we live in a jungle. You're like we live in society, everything's civilized, and things that we hear on TV are true just by majority. James, if more than 6 people have heard something, it's true. Why are you doubting this? I'm like, because it's a fascism. It's a fascistic film where we all have to believe simply because there's a goo that's like happens to be running down like molasses down the mountain. And we figure, well, if we just fucking believe it, it's not going to take over. It's not going to cloud our eyes and destroy our ability to see. It's not going to do that. This is the Me Too movement. Just in MAGA. Inside the truth movement itself. That's all it is. That's all it is. I don't even want to look at the comments because I'm afraid you guys are disagreeing. And I can't be stopped now because I've already started to burn my ship down, haven't I? I have already taken the anchor and just plunged a hole right through the hull. Right in the bilge pump. Right in the bilges. Right there. Why do I do this to myself? Why? Is this a sign of a madman? Is this a sign of someone who wants to destroy himself? Is that it? Is it because I'm self-deprecating? Or could it fucking be that maybe I just thought that the whole point of us being in the foxhole was that we were going to align with each other because we had discernment. And because we have discernment, we're able to see things other people couldn't. And they called us kooky and they called us tinfoil hat. And that this would be the one time where we could fucking prove that we're not. This would be the one perfect time where we could align ourselves and find a deeper torque of belief because we fucking use our fieldings to discern the environment, the sonar of compassion. That I've compassionated Cathy O'Brien, and I do not believe this story. Number one, it suggests that billionaires somehow can't get laid and that they need to find some sort of FBI contact who happens to have arrested someone else who's willing to trade their own children in to the billionaire in exchange for a legal justice-driven document that grants her fucking immunity as long as she will be our sacred sex virgin that we're going to worship in an underground fucking temple. James, get out of this foxhole. I know. I don't belong here. Grounded Wind and I are going to fucking take our toys and go home. Thank you for the super chat, Grounded Wind. It's rough, man. It is rough because how do you... James, we don't have enough people. Why are you... You can't do this. James, we don't have enough people. James, we don't have enough people. We cannot afford to do this. We can't afford to do it. And I'm not singling these people out, but this is culture. The main voices are telling you there's something there. Who are the main voices? It's Joe Rogan, Musk, and Critical Moist, who's basically just the next Joe Rogan. And these guys are great. These guys are all American. They're giving you all the tastes, all the flavors of what it's like to be connected to community. You should tentpole them just like you should anyone else. I seriously mean this. But all 3 of them are saying there's something there. All 3 of them are insisting there's something there. But all 3 of them haven't told you that way back when they first swallowed this story, that the very first time they swallowed this story, not one of them said, hey, I wonder if this is true. I wonder if this is true. My best-selling book, Blueprints of Mind Control, opens with a treatise, an epitaph, as it were, an epiphanal epitaph that literally ends in the words, because you will finally find the balls, okay, I'm paraphrasing, but you will finally find the balls to ask, is that true? Is that true? Is that true? And you can't ask that if you never asked it at the beginning, and a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, you're still pulling on that string. That hook is still in your mouth, and all you can do is insist there's something there. There's something there. There's got to be something there, James. There's got to be something there. It couldn't be anything else, James. There's no way that it could be anything else. So clearly there's a cover-up. Clearly it's a cover-up is what everyone's saying. That there's no evidence to support any other alternative, but that this has to be a cover-up. And this is why I'm ashamed of being in the foxhole. This is why I'm like, Guys, this is why foxes don't even live here. Foxes are like, you guys are fucking whack, man. We're going to go live with an owl. Those guys are fucking smart as fuck. Because at no point do we bunk things. I've said it before, James, say it again. But at no point do we do that. We're not in the business of bunking. We're in the business of finding what is cool to talk about. We're in the business of discussing what is everyone else going to chatter about if I chatter about it. And so people come out and they insist, oh, well, it's clearly this, or it's clearly that, or it's clearly that. And the people who say, I think all this is bullshit. Like I said about Epstein day one, all they do is get punished in this space, and as they should. As they should, because media cannot teach you the truth. Media has to teach you what is new. What is new is what people know. What people know is not what people are true. What people know, is just the mythos, the hops beer, the flavoloid, the liquid crystal that makes things taste good for right now is what is known. It is I am aware of the trend, and that's why, even though I don't like it, I finally bought a pair of skinny jeans, says the person. You have no fucking choice. There's no truth in skinny jeans. There's no truth in it, but it's what everyone does. And understanding the difference between those things is fucking mind-blowing. It takes so long for people to realize this, and I told you this. We all live in a pedo submarine because this story had every single thing that these people would want it to have. It gave you every single morsel that you could talk about. It gave you every single bit of meat that people want on their plate. There's something there, they say. There's nothing there, they say. Patel and Bondi, two people who swore to fuck that the second you let me in office, I will release the truth. Two people that have zero competition when it comes to wanting things like this released more than anyone else in the world. More than anyone else in the world, the two people who would get to carry this dead body through the Roman streets on a tribute. This client list would be a tribute that they would travel through the streets under a ticker tape parade. And the two people that would most want to give you that have said no. And the only excuse that I have heard any mainstream thinker give for this is there must be a cover-up. And it drains me. It drains me like a vampire who I've given my consent. Take my blood, it's meaningless to me because without the collective belief of society, my truth will die alone. Because the truth is this word pharmacos. Fuck, I said I wouldn't say this word. But the truth is that the controllers know how to place a Maltese falcon on a cart and run it through the streets. It's like a giant wooden dildo during Libertalia in Rome. Except for this dildo has an apple penis, because that's what Epstein had. And it's got the billionaires, it's got the submarines, it's got the cannibalism, it's got the pedophilia, it's got the satanic temples, it's got all the actors, all the Hollywood motifs, all the world leaders or what you think are world leaders, which really are not. They're freaking maitre d's. And that you've been promised that there's a list, and you've been promised that if you watch more, you've been promised that if you enjoy the show, that if you've been promised if you ignore it, when James tells you that's not even a real temple, it's a utility building that's been painted as a facade to entertain scuba divers from Disney, that is not good enough. That is not salacious enough, and it does not give you this joy of knowing we got him. We got him. This is the power of a hook. This is the power of propagation. It's the power of propaganda. And I'm surrounded by people that want more of this teat. They want more of it. They want this teat so bad that even when they're told there's nothing there, they just say, that's weird. There must be a cover up. It's got to be here, man. It's got to be here. It's got to. That's the only explanation. It's the only thing it could be, James. It couldn't be that the one thing that we all wanted more than anything else is false. Who in their right mind would do that? Who in their right mind? James, it has nothing to do with how juicy it was to believe Epstein was real. It had nothing to do with that. James, it had nothing to do with this. Is clearly a cover-up. It's clearly, James, it can't be anything else. There's literally no other reason. There could be no other explanation. Oh yeah. Well, okay. There could be an explanation. I mean, it literally could be Steve Bannon. I mean, it could. I realize this isn't fun, but it actually could be a political op. We've done a couple streams about this. I'm almost afraid to bring it up again because I feel like I drag you guys to the snore fest. But when we went through this with Obama, I showed you a couple. These two were in love. And that their sole purpose was to build torture programs in the Middle East strictly so they could come back to Congress and apply for lobbying money to fight the torture programs that they started in the Middle East. It was a couple. It was a family. The lady herself was actually tried in a global court. She was given a diplomatic immunity by the United States. Why? Because if the court would have pulled this thing apart, they would have noticed that the entire Osama bin Laden operation was a political op. That the reason why you never saw a body, that the reason why SEALs, the greatest heroes in the world, for some reason decided, oh, well, we just pushed the body into the ocean because that's what you wanted, right? Oh, you didn't want that? Oh, darn, it's in the ocean. Well, I guess we could go back and look for it. I mean, we are SEALs. No, we can't. We can't go back and look for his body. James, the ocean's too cold. It's big. But you guys are SEALs. Yeah, but we don't even know where he dropped it. You guys don't have, like, GPS? James, we didn't, like, mark the GPS at the time. But you guys mark everything. Like, literally, you're anal as fuck. That's all you do. You get up and you make your cot and you shave your head exactly right and you count how many sausages you're going to cram into your fucking face and you go over and you kill someone and we say thank you for your service and you happen to have forgotten what the geo coordinates were for where you dropped his fucking body. And that was after you decided that that's what all of us wanted, was to you to remove any evidence we actually had that this thing actually occurred and that someone was actually held accountable for it. And here we are repeating the exact same thing all over again, except for now it's Epstein. And when we look at it, the only thing that I've seen is stair steps that lead from Pizzagate into the Clinton pedophile ring, into Breitbart, into Benjamin Netanyahu, into the CEO of Trump's campaign, into the election of the White House of the first professional wrestler who was out and out just saying I trained under professional wrestling, and then right after he was elected, that someone came out and said, I still have a tape with Epstein. Steve Bannon said, I still have a tape with Epstein. Not only that, it's actually logged. So he's not even making this shit up. He's got a sealed final interview with Epstein. Bannon does. But Cathy's not going to tell you about this. James, first they put these nipple clamps on me, James. That's the first thing they did. And then Bill Gates came in and he said that he'd never seen anyone as pretty as me, and that if he could just take my essence, that he would win and he would live forever because I had the sacred essence, and that he could drink my... I'm getting way off track here, but this feeds everyone. This man knows how to feed everyone. I've told you this before. Guys, there's been at least 4 videos that I've done specifically on this guy Epstein that have been removed, and the reason why is for community bullying. YouTube doesn't say that I do it because I'm false. They say that I'm bullying an individual. A person, because he's never been elected, because he's always had a job, and because I happen to be pointing at every single thing he does, the Hong Kong Revolution, some of the most brilliant cinematography I've ever seen, had his signature all over it. Where do we catch Bannon? He's off the coast. Remember he's literally cutting his thumb with the former prime minister's son of Japan, I think, and they're signing a blood oath in front of the Statue of Liberty on a yacht, promising that the Himalayan court is the new world order. I mean, I'm telling you all this esoteric shit this guy does, and it's outside of the court of Jimmy Dore. It's outside the court of Elon Musk. It's outside the court of Joe Rogan. It's outside the court because they can only talk about pawns that you, my friend, have placed, that you have considered valid, that only then will Moy's Critical say, well, it's got to be a cover-up. What else is he going to say? What else are you going to say if you've been saying, yeah, we finally got him? Because all this does is legitimize the system. Creating Epstein allows people to follow the same thing that the FBI does, by the way. I used to think this was wrong. I mean, okay, I still think it's wrong, but the FBI hunts criminals because they're an elite hunting group. How do they hunt criminals? They set up honeypots. You could call it wrong. But the fact is that if you've been warned by your state, usually your Florida Bureau of Investigations will warn the Federal Bureau of Investigations that there's a person in the area who attends this school who's demonstrated some violent tendencies, and due to the act, the Casey Act or Madison Act or Brittany Act, some sort of act that's named after a girl like that, the act enforces all state agencies to report these things immediately to a federal authority. So now you have a database, a menu of crazy people across the United States. These are leads. You ever worked in sales? You got to have the leads, man. Glenn Ross, I think that's what it's called, right? You got to have the leads. You got to have the leads. My leads are shit. Your leads are good. My leads are shit. And that FBI is given these leads by all these states. And one of those leads came from Parkland and said, hey, we got this. And the FBI is doing their job. They're trying to hunt, trying to catch the most fish. So they post things, they send messages, they send texts, they provoke, they prod, they play Yankee Doodle Dandy. They drive through town with a pipe. And they play a tune. They play the tune. And they bring the children down to the river who drown themselves. This is what the FBI does. Do you know why they have to do that? Have you ever considered why they have to do that? I'm going to tell you why. It's because so many of us are not really here to invest in truth. We're here to invest in the emotional reality of what we want to see. And Cathy O'Brien gives you that emotional reality. She takes all the real victims that ever exist in the world, and she's set up a loosh hookah. She's inhaling all the loosh of real victims that have actually existed out there. She's doing that. The same way that all the truthers that are saying it must be a cover-up are sucking the loosh off all the people that said, I don't know if Epstein's real. Do you know why I don't think Epstein is real? It's because it satisfied both sides. The reason why I don't think Epstein's is real is because the entire purpose of government is to divide you. I don't even mean this nefariously. That you're a bicameral mind, the country is a bicameral agency, and the having two poles, I'm not even against it anymore. We've been looking at this since Aztec times, this idea of how these things emerge, right? So having two poles is a Masonic thing, sure, but it's also how your mind works, which means that your mind sets up one tower, calls it mercy, sets up another tower, calls it justice. And this is your left eye and your right eye, and it defines a reality in between. It looks at things, each mind has the opportunity to analyze something, one from the peripheral vision, one from the macular vision. And that this male and female approach to things gives you a hermaphroditic understanding in between Jacob's ladder. Somewhere in between is this truth that you've seen, and you've only seen it because you've scried it between these two towers, and that everyone knows this who's telling you stories. Cathy O'Brien knows this. Jimmy Dore knows this. Joe Rogan knows this. Penguin Zero knows this. Elon Musk knows this. James True knows this. I'm really no different. I don't dope. That's the difference. I don't want victory that bad. That's my problem. I don't want to have to be in front of you and have all of your eyes. That's my problem. Because if I wanted that more, I would not even see that there could be any doubt to Cathy O'Brien's story. I wouldn't even be able to see it, guys. And I'd be one of the people that right now is typing the comment going, James, you're just you're such an awful, what do I even call you, James? Because I'm ruining it for you. I'm ruining the foxhole for you. And I'm doing it because I thought we came into the foxhole to find people who discern things. I thought that we understood that every single thing that you see that's on the media is going to have some sort of propagation behind it, some sort of amplitude. It makes sense to me that the Secret Service would show up at Parkland because Cruz's name was in that database. He was in that database, and the FBI saw it was election season. They wanted to get David Hogg on the field. They wanted to see if they could play up the gun thing. And they saw an opportunity to take a dangerous person off the street. Win-win. This is called being efficient. When you're a predator who's on a higher level, you're as efficient as can be. Nothing's personal. So you're moving through these things, which means you are starting PSYOPs. You're not waiting for PSYOPs to happen. And I think ultimately this is what people miss the most. They honestly think that all the news is just fluid and organic. And it's not. There are people like Bannon. There are operatives like that couple I told you about in the CIA Obama administration that were there to make stories, and that these stories could be cashed in an election season. So my take, is total guess, is that Bannon had the Epstein tape, and Trump saw a little bit of danger by keeping Bannon inside. Trump understood what Bannon can do. That's why he started calling him Sloppy Steve. At the same time, I think Bannon knew, because this is what Trump does, I can't trust Trump. Fucker's going to stab me in the back. That's what Trump does. And there's no way you're going to be where you are if you're not stabbing people in the back. There's no way. Guys, Patel and Bondi, they would tell you if there was a list. One of them would be president for telling you there was a list, if there was a list. And the reason why there's not a list is the same reason why Nicholas Cruz was caught by the Secret Service. It's because there's a list, and in this list, the Miami Herald has this story of Epstein. And Epstein is a billionaire who had no problem getting snatched. That these women were throwing themselves over his fence in order to be with him, and that the issue he had was he ran out. He needed a new woman every day because his fetish was about degradation. All right? So you have a billionaire who has a fetish for degradation, which is not out of the ordinary to consider. Probably most billionaires have some sort of sexual fetish that gets satisfied. They get satisfied probably in the morning. Like probably over breakfast. There's probably some chick doing like butthole yoga that probably really turns some billionaire on. And that they have a consensual relationship that makes that happen because both sides want to be there. But this fantasy that we have is that the billionaires can never get laid, that they never have access to this, that they'd have to be utilizing federal resources to mine through some sort of legal leverage this sex daughter, and that they want to pass her around. That all the world leaders want to make sure that they all use the sacred virgin, even though she's clearly not a virgin anymore. But this is a sexual fantasy that someone has, and that it serves the purpose, which means that we are turning her into a straw man. Cathy O'Brien's the straw woman. And I see all the loosh coming from actual real victims, just like I think kids are being human trafficked right now in yellow school buses, but none of those are going to get attention because the Epstein list is clearly a cover-up. It's not a cover-up. You're fucking gullible. That's not a cover-up. You don't get to say that your gullibility is a cover-up. I realize we've been using that excuse for a long time now, but we made it through a pretty big gauntlet, and it's time for us to grow up. It's time for us to start to use our discernment a little bit better. Or it's not. It could be that it's just not time. It could be that, James, this is why you're dying. This is why. You know what? It's fine. I didn't come here to have victory. I came here to live a good life. I came here to have some sanctity. I came here to deliver what I felt was a good foxhole occupant. Occupy your foxhole, right? That's all I've been trying to do. It's a summer turning point. USA Student Action Summit in Tampa. Bannon issued a stark warning about the fallout from the Epstein files. He said, you're going to lose 10% of the MAGA movement. If we lose 10%, we're going to lose 40 seats in the 2026 midterms. We're going to lose the president. He emphasized that the perceived betrayal of the Epstein documents, including Bondi's failure to produce the long-promised client list, risks alienating core supporters that he said could jeopardize Republican control and even Trump's political future. He's telling you how it works. He's telling you, he's like, guys, we need that fucking list, and you don't need to release it. Bannon doesn't want to release the list. He's calling for a special prosecutor because he wants the special prosecutor to not fucking release the list. Because the moment the list is released, the whole story's dead. The moment the list is released, the whole story's dead. And it shows you something profound, because when the two people who would know, when the two people have the most to gain by showing you that the list is bunk, come out and tell you it's bunk, people still don't believe it. And honestly, all I do is see Jimmy Dore's, who had a really good fucking reputation. He's going down the drain now. Where is his threshold now? And you know what? He's not even going down the drain. I would imagine people are going to fucking love this. They're going to eat this shit up. I watch Bob Lazar do the same thing. It doesn't fucking matter, guys. This is about how well can you hold the attention? What story can you spin for people that have already told themselves they're living in a prison planet that happens to have cotton candy, that happens to have upward mobility, that happens to have voluntary slavery, that happens to have anarchy, that we completely practice on each other while insisting, that creates its own tyranny under an anarchistic system where we install tyranny on each other under the eyes of we need more anarchy. That's what we're doing. So of course we're going to behave this way. Of course we're going to go around and grab the witch's body that burns the best. And if she's dead, man, fucking revive her. Bring her back. We'll find another. Thank you, Teod. I hear you. Jimmy had a great rep after getting jabbed. Yeah, I guess there's that too. Something about comedians. There's fucking spineless. You would think that they would. You would think that man, I was always pulling for the jester. I was always secretly pulling for him. But more and more you watch what it's like, that if you want to be a good jester, you're going to have to dope, just like the rest of them. So I can't even really single them out and say, well, they're... But I had a romantic attachment with the fact that the jester wasn't going to go down. And, man, they go down. All of us go down. Some of you say I've gone down. I think some of you all gone down. So all we're doing is pointing at each other, going, you've gone down. No, you've gone down. No, you've gone down. No, you've gone... James, you've gone down. Meanwhile, Cathy O'Brien's over here going, yeah, they've gone down on me a lot. It was Henry Kissinger. He went down on me. And then Jimmy Carter went down on me. And then Clinton went down on me. Yeah, they all went down on me. It was horrible. It was really awful. They said I was the most beautiful virgin sacrifice they've ever seen. It was awful. I wrote a book about it. It was awful. It's really made me a lot of money. Did you see my house? It's awful. And guys, it's fucking awful. Why would the CIA need to do this? Look how gullible we are. I'm serious. I can tell you that 25 million people died because of Archduke Ferdinand. I can tell you that. And people will correct me. They'll correct me if I say Archdick Ferdinand. I was to say Archdick Ferdinand. People will be like, no, you mean Archduke Ferdinand. And they're saying that like it's real. Like, they're saying that like it's real. And it shows you the power of science. Remember, science is just what is known. So what is known is really what is regurgitated. What is regurgitated is just what's been repeated to you every year after year after year. So you're reinforced, because why would you invest all that listening if it wasn't real? And this is why repetition really solves all things. This is why CNN has to, by contract, be played inside the airport, is because it's a military, industrial, entertainment device. And you don't have to like it. You just have to hear it a lot. Just have to hear it a lot. Same thing with Assange. Guys, when both sides are given what they want by the very organization that actually thrives by not giving both sides what they want, you are being lied to. You're being played. But you're in a foxhole, and only some of us are going to afford to be able to see such a thing. It's only possible for so much. Why'd they want release? Massive MAGA credibility boost. Producing a real Epstein client list would instantly vindicate years of right-wing and populist allegations about elite pedophile rings. If anything would fix the pedophilia, it would be releasing this list. So Patel and Bondi would save innocent children by releasing this list. Both these guys made gigantic promises that, hey, man, if you put me in there, I'm going to release the fucking list. But one of them swore the other one in. They insisted to you, if you put me in office, I will release the list. And guess what? How do you release a list that isn't there? Better question, how do you get elected if you're the only person in Washington who thinks the list is bullshit? The answer is you don't. You do not get elected for doing that. You don't do it. It doesn't happen. The FBI is entertaining a new era, one that will be defined by integrity, accountability, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned, and anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. If there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparent. Look in my eyes. The oath we take is to the Constitution, and under my leadership, that promise will be upheld without compromise. You believe him? The fucker wants a list so bad. Now there's a ghost of a list. And this is brilliant. And I tell you guys this a lot, that a lot of the PSYOP operators don't really know what's going to happen with their PSYOP. That you plant a tree and sometimes it takes off, sometimes it doesn't. But most of the time it turns into something completely different. This happens in Hollywood. If you ask anyone in public relations and why every single person who's an elite, quote, quote, in Hollywood has a publicist, it's because this is everything. And you and I don't have publicists yet. Eventually, we will have AIs that will act as our publicists. I know you're like, stop it, stop. I get it. Take a fork, jab it in your eye. I get it, but it's going to happen. And once that happens, you will never have a real conversation again unless you really find someone outside of the silicone makeup, outside of the amusement park full of cotton candy, right? That's what's next. History is a stage, mythology is a backdrop. Why do I say these things? Why? Let's take a quick look here. I think if I hit Control-Tab. Guys, Joe Rogan, Voice Critical, Elon Musk, Jimmy Dore, Cathy O'Brien, and every single person that you know who's been in your foxhole, probably every single person, is now on the side of Alex Jones. And if that's not a red flag, if this is not a red flag that the Epstein is fake, then nothing is.
I never saw any evidence of Trump involved in any of the stuff that came out. It was all fake. The fake Jane Does, all the crap, you know, E. Jean Carroll, crazy leftist cat lady, all of it. So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity. And, I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country. And they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out.
There's your poster boy. There's your foxhole poster boy right there. if you want to rule the world, you just need a stick. You need an act, right? You need something people are going to believe in more than anything else. I think it's a reptilian space pope. I do. I think that as you watch Blue Beam, and more it's like if you watch people, it's not really the operatives that need watching. It's the people. It's their appetite. And what people get hungry for tends to be the things that define what has to be put on the table. This is why the definition of leader is such an interesting idea. You think a leader is someone who's in charge of something else, but really it's not. A leader is something that a dog is pulling you with. It's a two-way street. And creating these ops is the fanfare and the pompous, the propaganda that emanates around a throne, that emanates around the idea of a country. And ultimately, I think that we are just looking for a reptilian space boat to take over. That once that happens, we really are we're done. We don't need to worry about anything else because we'll slip into this. It's almost would be too foolish to ever doubt that it occurred again. If that makes sense. So it's sort of like Blue Beam pushes you over the threshold where there's no going back. And I think that's what taxes are. Taxes was a belief that, this is just temporary. And that was like 100 years ago. I mean, it's like literally like days after we freed every black man, the country said, okay, now all of you are chattel slaves due to your labor. Like that was clever as fuck. It was so clever that people in the foxhole didn't see it because that kind of cleverness is invisible. That's why there's not a fox in a foxhole. It's just a bunch of fools, honestly. I'm a fool. I don't mind. I got faith in gestures. I got chutzpah. But it's not going to be the ones that are telling you Cathy O'Brien's real. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen, folks.
If I were in a psychopathic cabal with printed all the money, I would probably build a reptilian space hub. I'd splice the genes of a reptile with a human and create a hairless hybrid simpleton. I could control from my cell phone. I'd power it with photosynthesis and keep it under a grow light for charging. I'd want it to feel benevolent, reverent, and completely disarming. I'd want the public to think it was highly evolved. I'd give it a backstory that it came from the stars and was billions of years older than we were. I'd make it a little shorter to feel less threatening. I'd give it big eyes like a kitten. I wouldn't make it too muscular or even too attractive. It needs to feel disarming, like a sleek and sterile butler.
Space Pope could tell the whole world how bad they've been. It would tell us we destroyed our environment, and it had no choice but to stop us. Space Pope would convince all of us we were incapable of governing ourselves. It would disarm people psychologically and make them feel selfish for resisting. Everyone's heads would be in the sky instead of over the shoulder.